All right, everyone, we are live again. Dynast Amir, Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. As we always do before we get started, make sure you guys go to dynastamir.com. Again, make sure you go to dynastamir.com. Subscribe to the email list. Join the email list so you guys can stay up to date in regards to what's going on with Dynast Amir, the brand. Also, while you're there, there's 82,000 subscribers. With that being said, I should have sold 82,000 books by now. So, and 82,000 shirts. So everybody needs to buy a shirt. Go to dynastamir.com, buy something. All right. Again, it's 82,000 of y'all. So 82,000 shirts and books should have been sold by now. So make sure you go to dynastamir.com and do that. Also, like, share, and subscribe. You guys, again, like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate you guys' support. And become a monthly Patreon. Let me get the banner going. Patreon.com. Search for Uhuru. Become a monthly Patreon. We will really appreciate your guys' support. Again, there's 82,000 of you guys. I don't have the CBS and the NBC and the ABC and the BETs, all the T's budget yet. It's coming though, but it's coming. So therefore, we need you all to support so we can get that big time budget so we could really make moves, everyone. Without further ado, we have our special guest on with us today, Mr. Mark Blatton, all the way from South Africa via Virginia. Mark, were you born in Virginia or?
No, I was actually born in Augusta, Georgia, and then I was raised in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay, where you go to Payne High School? Where'd you go?
No. I was just born there, but when I was an infant, we ended up moving to my dad was in the military, so we went to North Carolina, right there, Spring Lake, Fayetteville area.
Okay,
so we was right there, Fort Bragg, the whole nine. So that's where I was raised.
Okay, so we have brother Mark Blatton on with us, all the way in South Africa, Johannesburg, and we're going to discuss how Black Americans can win in Africa, because Brother Blatton is definitely winning, him and his wife, the Real South Africa platform. But this is a little off topic. So sure. United Airlines is going to start offering direct flights from DC to Accra, Ghana, and to Lagos, Nigeria, and to South Africa. Now, that was originally the South African Airlines. Is it Airways or Airlines? South Africa.
South African Airways, I think. Airlines.
All right. That was their route originally. So there's been a lot of rumors saying they might go bankrupt and go under. Is that true or not? Or
it's happening. They actually. They've been restructured several times, and of course, every country needs to have their own national airlines and so forth. So they're going to make a comeback. They're here talking on the ground about being able to restructure it and make it more corporate versus them being owned by like the government itself. So it is true. It's true.
Okay. All right, so we'll see how that plays out. So I know United Airlines kind of took over that route. Cause I think United Airlines and South African Airways, they were in the same, that flight group or whatever it's called.
Something
like that.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll start off. So what made you, for those who don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Blatton.
All right, you guys. I'm Mark Blatton. I'm the owner of the Real South Africa. You can always, find us online at our website, therealsouthafrica.com. I was born in Georgia, obviously. Grew up in North Carolina, so I'm a Tar Heel fan. If you don't know, if you want to make me smile, just talk about the Tar Heels. And then, of course, I spent a lot of time in the military. I did about 13 years there. And then, of course, I left the military, was U.S. Secret Service for about 10 years, started, and then, of course, I was married. We started a very nice physical therapy practice, had that going for roughly 10 years. sold that, and then we moved to South Africa because we have been going back and forth for so many years. And now we're here with our company. We've had this company for a while, and we've made a lot of inroads. Basically, our whole goal is to give people the opportunity to come to Africa, through our platform, so you don't have to worry about anything. So that's basically what we are doing right now.
Let me ask you this, Mark. A little again off topic. I'm just kind of interested in the whole Secret Service thing. Like, did you have to
Yeah.
put your hands on anybody, like trying to touch the president before? Like, have you had to like whoop somebody's, for trying to touch the president? Like, how was that being a Secret Service agent?
Well, I tell you this is I mean, the level of training is top notch. And one thing that I had some complaints about the job in reference to the amount of diversity that they had, but I will tell you, the people that come to that job, that get hired on that job through the process, that make it through training, to get to be on the detail I've never seen nothing like it. So the people that are there they are the best. We are the best at what we do. With that being said, and to answer your question, a lot of people come to the White House because they got issues around the world, and especially within the United States.
Right.
So there are times where you have to be a little bit aggressive. I remember a time we was on a trip to Saudi Arabia, and we was in Saudi Arabia, and I was in a secure area. I had everything that we needed, and nobody's supposed to come down there. And sure enough, some Saudi Arabians were talking about my brother, and I had to pull it out and tell them to get out. I've ran people off roads that were trying to infiltrate our motorcade. Things happen. Things do happen around the Secret Service, but we're so professional about what we do, and there's so many different ways that we prevent even those things from happening. So it's more along the lines of deterrence more than anything. But everybody that's on that job, trust me, they're very capable in what they do. They are very capable. They're very capable. I mean, honestly, some of the smartest people I've ever been around was on that job, and that was one of the one thing that I took away, and when I left, is that I got a chance to sit around some smart people. Most of them are lawyers, former lawyers. Come from a lot of Ivy League type people. Those type people that are on the job working because they want to be there, and you learn a lot, and you pick up a lot of things on how this U.S. of A really works.
Okay. Now we already have several questions in the chat room in regards to. And we kind of covered this on the last chat, but people are bringing it up. I love South Africa. I want to visit, but what about the high crime rate in Johannesburg? Can you address that?
I'm laughing now because I'm on the phone. I'm talking to this lady, and she's like, Mark, I heard there's a lot of high crime. It's funny that the FBI has a thing called the Uniform Crime Report. And you can get it right. Just go in there and pick it up. You can go online.
You know what's crazy? In like the top 20 of that, I think 3 South African countries were like in the top 20 or 30 or something crazy.
You mean South African cities?
South African cities. I'm tripping. South African cities. I'm tripping. South African cities.
Okay. Yeah. But if you want to know what crime is actually going in your area, pull that up, put your zip code in, put your city in, and you'll find out, where you rank, where your city is. And my point is, this woman calls me and she's talking. She said, Mark, I really want to come. I really want to come, which was great. And then she said, well, what about the crime? Same question you asked me. And then I said, well, hold on, ma'am. I said, aren't you in Baltimore? And she paused, and then she says, okay, touche. And I said, exactly. And then she was like, yeah, there's a lot of crime here, but I grew up here. So I know where to go, what to do, things along that line. And there is crime here, but like I said, the people that are here, such as myself, we know where the crime is. And if I go there, then I can give you a very, very vivid report on the crime. But like where I'm at right now, where I live and where the places I go, I guess it happens, but I don't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So how Black Americans can win in Africa. So there was a documentary that came out years ago called Blacks Without Borders, and it was based in South Africa. Now
Yeah,
you're
that
in
was a
South Africa, you're doing well. Like, what lessons have you learned in regards to, or what advice can you give in regards to how you being a Black American can win in Africa? We don't want to make Africa monolithic, but at the same time, it's still,
yeah.
you know, the advice, is still, you can use anywhere. It's still valid pretty much all over Africa. But like what can you suggest or advise people as far as how they can win as far as Black Americans in Africa?
Well, I would say this. I think Stafford U. Bailey. He was the one who actually made the documentary. He's passed since then. He's been a few years back. He passed, but he was the one that had the vision to make that documentary. And honestly, it set the tone for a lot of people. And the reason why he made that video is because he wanted people like me, people like you, and everybody who's listening and watching to be able to see it for themselves, so they can have those opportunities. So the one thing that I can say for somebody that would see that video and or can come to South Africa and be successful, or Africa in general, is that there are people who have done it, people that are here.
Right.
And whatnot. And if you're and unfortunately, sometimes you may have to leave home. You might, leave a place that you was raised that honestly you didn't have to say so. And
Right.
but now you're a grown person, you have skills, and now you have a say so on where you can move and go to have success. And I would say, just like I was talking to a South African brother just yesterday, and they was like, yeah, Europeans come down here all the time and set up shop. And they
All
are,
the time.
they are like completely out of water. I mean, completely out of water. However, they come down here because they have the opportunity to have success. They connect with other successful European people, and they do very well. And we could do the same, but a lot of times we're just still stuck on a lot of things that just hold us back from coming to Africa.
Ignorant.
Well, I would say it's, like I said, I grew up. I remember being, in third grade, and they're talking about slavery and stuff, and you start
Right.
feeling uncomfortable. Then they start pointing at Africa, and then you go get the globe and you look at it, and then you start like, I don't want to go here. These types of things. So there's a lot of things that are built up in our head about Africa. But like I said, what normally breaks that whole mold is just literally going to Africa, not having all those expectations, going for what you think Africa is, and then let it get there, and then just be there. And you'll find that there are a lot of people who will wish you well and want you to be successful. And then you just got to kind of like follow the path. It's very easy.
Now, I would say this, Mark. What
Mhm.
I love about South Africa is you get good infrastructure at a reasonable price. Because as I mentioned, like in Ghana and other places, I mean, you're gonna have to have a generator. You have the big ass water tank on top of the house.
Yeah.
You might not have paved roads leading up to your house, but in South Africa, I was looking at like condos and I was looking at homes. You could get a decent house for less than $100,000 from what I was observing, between $125,000, 24-hour
Yeah.
electricity. You don't have the big ass water tank on top of the house,
Mm-mm.
and you could pull up to your garage or driveway, and the roads are paved.
Yeah.
So why? So with all that being said, why? Of course, the answer would be why people aren't considering South Africa is because I guess Europeans control everything. But okay, expand. I'm just. That's what people say. That's what people say. Even South Africans say that. Even a lot of
Well,
South Africans say
and you know what, and like there are South Africans that don't even realize what they have because they don't go anywhere. They
that.
don't really, go mainstream. They don't know. The ones that do, they literally come back and they can't wait to come back to South Africa.
Right.
They're, for example, in our position, especially with our YouTube channel, The Real South African, it is so funny how many South Africans that are out in, that are not in the country, that's in, say, America, that are seeing our YouTube channel and are pining to come back to South Africa because of what it has.
Right.
And if you ask them, because we've had conversation, I had no idea. I just wanted to get to America because I heard this and I heard that.
Right.
Then they get there and they're like, wow, it's not what I thought. It's just not what I thought. And now they're tied into some contract or some deal. But when it's over, they're coming back to South Africa. And to talk about the other point, a South African, honestly, a home, for example, that's $125,000-$150,000 is a very substantial home.
Yeah.
For the average South African, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's like asking me.
And not to cut you off, but me and my friend, we were discussing this the other day. We were like, okay, $150,000 anywhere in Africa is a lot of money, and especially where here in America, if you have decent credit, a decent job, you could put down 3.5% and then pay the rest over 30 years. Like they don't have programs like that in Africa, outside of maybe South Africa, from my understanding. I think they might have something similar to that. But everywhere else, you paying cash, or you might be able to finance it over 2 years. So we were saying, who like these $150,000 homes, these $200,000 homes, who's buying these houses? Because the locals, I don't know if they're buying. As far as in everywhere else in Africa, we were like, who's buying these homes? And then again, just everywhere I travel throughout West Africa, big ass water tank. You might get 24-hour electricity but you're gonna have to have a generator, and then the road situation. You're gonna be the dirt roads leading up to your house, and like that's $250,000. I'm like, who's buying this?
Well, it's I can easily answer that question. South Africans are buying homes. You wouldn't believe. I know, like I said, I put it to you like this. I'm gonna give you two very, very short stories. When I was in the U.S., I felt good because I bought a Porsche. I had a 911 when I was there, very nice 911. And the only reason I ended up buying that car, I could have bought it many years in advance, but the only reason I bought it because I was coming here, and my South African friends who were maybe lower middle class, over about 2 or 3 years, they were like middle to upper middle class, and they were riding around in Panameras and 911s, and I'm like, what the hell? So I told myself, what am I doing? So I went back home and went and purchased my vehicle, and I was happy. So I was trying to do what they were doing. That was the one story. Number two is, this middle class here and upper class, the new
right
is black South Africans who are entrepreneurial. They're not all looking for a job. They're all entrepreneurial. There's too many gaps in industries where they find themselves fitting in. You find 28-year-olds with 5,000, 6,000 square foot homes with M6 on one side, and she's driving the M4. And you're like, well, how is this? And he said, because I quit working for this company and I started my own IT firm. I started my own firm, or we do our own catering or whatever we do, and people pay and people make good money. So the people who are buying these homes, if you go to our page, if you go to the Real South Africa page, there's a video of a few homes in neighborhoods. These are black. When you like on a Saturday morning, you like in my neighborhood, you would literally see a whole bunch of black people jogging, running with their families. It's us. It's black people.
All right, so I got to ask you a question because people were asking. All right, so they were asking about the European realtor. So they were like wondering, okay, he's in Africa. Why is he interviewing a European realtor? Do you want to address that, or?
Easy, yeah. They're all white. There are actually white South Africans here. I mean, proper South Africans, and a lot of them don't play that whole thing that in their mind, apartheid's over. They love South Africa in general, and we reached out to get the information we needed for our people. So we reached out,
Right.
and they were the ones who stepped up because they had the information that we needed. So if somebody calls me and say, hey, you know what, I want to come to South Africa and I want to buy a house, and if I don't have the information, I don't have it. I don't. But if I call the largest real estate company in South Africa, and they employ hundreds of thousands of people, and this is who they give me, so I can make sure my people can get the best service, that first class service, then that's what I'm going to do. Versus, as you said, other parts of the world, you can't get this, you can't get that,
Right.
but you can here. So to me, if when you come here, they were just given the information. Now, when you get here, there's so many, and those are people that we're going to ultimately have a conversation with too, that are black and want you to come here. And I also interviewed a black young lady as well. And matter of fact, she was the one who told me to talk to. I think there was an older white gentleman, South African gentleman, great guy. He actually, she went and got him because he was the expert in that area that he was speaking on. So, it's all. I mean, they know what we're doing. They know when we call. I'm saying, look, I'm trying to do this for my channel, and I want African Americans to be able to come here and buy property. And they're like, okay, no problem. What do you want? And I tell them, and they provide it. So it's good. I got another video coming out real soon talking about healthcare and products and things along that line. A nice young brother who's doing that. So, yeah.
Guys, make sure you hit that like button again. Please hit the like button again. Hit that like button. Now, the three major cities in South Africa, you have Joburg. In fact, I might be wrong, but from understanding, Joburg, Durban, Cape Town, and then there's Pretoria.
Yeah, but Pretoria and Joburg now is basically the same city because it used to be like a gap, because of there was nothing there. It was just like open land. But now everything has been built up. It's just been built up. Yeah. And one thing I want to bring to light as well is the fact that the majority of the population here is black. And they run a lot of stuff. They do a lot of stuff. They're the gatekeepers to a lot of stuff. And, if you go back, to 26, 27 years after slavery and where we were, and then look at where these guys are 26, 27 years after apartheid, I think you'll be impressed about what these South Africans, this generation, are able to do or were able to do, So if you want the full African experience, and you want like Africa, on full blast, come to South Africa. You don't have to live in the cities. You can. There's too many cities here, just like in the U.S. There's too many different cultures. There's too many different villages, too many townships. There's just too much of everything. It's just that you only hear about, like I said, Durban. You hear about Joburg, and you hear about Cape Town.
All right.
Yeah.
So out of those three cities, and then you can also suggest other cities, what would be a good fit for, I would say, I know black people are not monolithic, but which city would be a good fit for someone who's relocating to South Africa? If that between Joburg, Durban, and Cape Town, but then if you want to throw in other cities, that's fine as well.
Sure. I would say this. If you're looking at going to an area where you're like, okay, man, I want to be, near the water. I want nice beaches. I want the whole African vibe. I want all that. Then I would say, that whole Durban and going north about another 2 hours and maybe another hour south of there. You're talking about 3-4 hours of coastline. That there's several cities along those coastline that you can find you a nice location to live in and be near the water. And when you're talking about the water, you're not talking about that cold Atlantic Ocean. You're talking about the Indian Ocean. It's warm. It's warm all the year because the currents that are coming off of it and the winds that are blowing off of it is warm air. So even when it's winter here, it's warm in Durban. So that's why here we got a thing called Durban July,
Okay.
which in July is here's winter. But here we call it Durban July, and that's when people around the country, regardless of where you are, they go to Durban, for the week and around this horse race, the whole nine,
Right.
and it's fun, and that's why people go and they get there and they ball out. Everybody got the big cars, and they're renting out clubs and renting out hotels, and they're doing the most right there, right here in Durban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Durban's not. Like I said, I've been to Durban. I've been to Durban, Cape Town, and Joburg. So
Yeah, but like I said, but if you're looking at trying to do business, trying to you come to make your fortune, you got to come to Joburg. It's just that,
Right.
And of course Cape Town is more along the lines of it's just if you just want to be wild every day about your surroundings. If you want to say, man, every day you drive and you're like, wow, you're walking, wow. If you like the outdoors and you just want to be wild, then I would say go to Cape Town. Now it's a slow paced life. There,
Right.
everything is shut down on you because it's a very nice day and everybody's on ran to the beach, But so those are the contrast between those three cities.
Someone in the chat room was asking. Hold on, let me go back to it. Is there a minimum income requirement to get a permanent visa in South Africa?
Yes, it's actually how can I explain it? It's if you're looking for a retired visa, I'm gonna do the math now on my own. But if you're looking for a retired person visa and you got that guaranteed income coming in, the minimum amount that you need to bring in US dollars is $2,200. So if you got so let's say you got a person who's retired, they're going to get 2002, or it's a military person, 38 years old, 39 years old, retired from the military. As long as you got that permanent income coming in and you can document it, and a lot of it can be based in your what you call it, in your real estate, because they consider that permanent income. And there's various other ways to get to that dollar amount. But once you can do that, then you can apply for a retired person's visa, and you don't have to be a retired age. It's regardless of age. So at about $2,200, once you got that, not like from your job, but you got it coming in. If you got it in an IRA, guaranteed money coming in, then yeah, you can go that route as well.
Okay. Guys, so what we're going to do here in about 5 minutes, we're going to open up the lines and take some questions. Again, if you want to call in, email is uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. Guys, hit that like button again. Hit that like button. Also, too, formally announcing, formally announcing April 21st through the 30th, tour to Sierra Leone, everyone. April 21st to the 30th next year, we are doing a tour to Sierra Leone. So if you guys are interested, hit me up, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. I'm going to formally announce that here shortly. So again, April 21st to the 30th, we'll be going to Sierra Leone, celebrating their Independence Day. So it's going to be like Independence Week. Have a lot lined up. So we're going to have a lot of fun at Sierra Leone, you guys. So again, if you are interested, send me an email and we'll get you guys all set up. Someone's asking, what's the taxes like in South Africa?
The taxes, how can I are you talking about sales tax? Because if you say sales tax, they have it's called a VAT, value added tax.
Right.
Say again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think it's roughly like 14-15% on your purchase. So, but the difference is it's kind of hard to explain. Like, for example, if you go in the store in the U.S., something's $1 and they got a 7% sales tax, so they'll charge you $1, but then at the cash register you got to come up with that extra 7 cents. Right. Here, if it's $1 per se, and you go to and it says it on the package, when you go to the cash register, you're going to pay $1. So somehow the taxes are built into the pricing. And so with that being said, what kind of mitigates the taxes is the fact, especially for U.S. people, there's two things. If you come here, let's say you came here on a trip and you bought up all kind of crap. You just bought stuff, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Why? Because the prices were cheap. And on top of that, the U.S. dollar is super strong right now. When you leave, all you got to do is go to an office and bring all your receipts of the stuff that you purchased, the stuff that you're taking out of the country, and they will refund all those taxes back to you. You would get, they ask you for your address. You would get like a little debit card, and on that debit card is loaded every bit of the taxes that you spent while you were here in South Africa. Yeah.
Never knew that. Never knew that.
Yeah. They don't. Yeah, they don't. Expect you to pay tax, especially as a tourist. So you definitely. So we've had people come here. I've came here, bought all kind of stuff. I mean, just like I'm coming to South Africa.
Man, brother, I'm glad we're losing you. I didn't hear anything you said. We lost you. You said you bought something and then you were going in and out.
Yeah, so those taxes don't affect you, especially if you're a tourist. It just doesn't affect you.
Now, what about like? We lost him. Mr. Blank, can you hear us? Okay, you're back.
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay, all right. So, what about as far as like income tax, real taxes on your home? Like, what about those taxes?
Yeah, those are so negligible. I know those are very, think about it. America taxes you to the end of time.
Right.
They got the death.
Right.
Yeah, I think sometimes people need to put it in perspective that in the U.S. you're paying so much in taxes and so much in taxes. So if you got to pay 1 cent somewhere else, you're like, oh, the tax is so high. But we don't have no issue paying them in the U.S. because that's just what we do. Unfortunately, they're very minimal, to say the least. It's not, when I look at what I pay out, it's so negligible that I don't notice. But I remember being in the U.S. and kicking out a nice little chunk of change for every single car that I had and every single thing that I did. So yeah.
In fact, what they do now, say you buy your car, and like when I bought my car in California and had it shipped, paid taxes in California, paid everything, I had to pay taxes again just to get it registered in Georgia.
Yeah, it's crazy. Here is like, for example, like if you go to the car lot, for example, and I'm give an easy number, $20,000, and it says it on the car, $20,000, and inside of it has your taxes. So it's $20,000. You don't pay $20,000 and then sit down with your finance guy or whatever and say, okay, now you're going to finance. So this how much the taxes is on top of what we didn't tell you. No, whatever on the sticker is what you ultimately are going to pay.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, if you want to call in, once again, Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com, Uhuru at searchforuhuru.com to me email, and I will get you guys the link. And please hit that like button. Again, hit that like button, everyone. Thank you so much. Let's see what else we have here in the chat room. So what industry should, Black Americans who are wanting to relocate to specifically South Africa, are there any specific gaps or industries that you would could recommend they focus on?
Actually, there's gaps in all industries. Unlike in the U.S., you got to get in where you fit in, and then try to make your moves and whatnot. Like, for example, we get calls all the time. Like, for example, I'm gonna give you the best example. We had there's a company out of it's a Black owned company, completely Black owned, and they're emailing us because they're like, hey, we need people to invest. Or be part of our situation, and they figure that I know some African Americans, and they were like, we would love to partner with African Americans. These people they make shoes, they make everything. They make high end purses, high end belts, high end everything out of ostrich leather. Just that stuff is expensive, and they're willing to work with and us African Americans to try to build that company and export stuff and things like that. So I would say whatever you want to do, and I know it sounds very vague when I say that, but once you get here, you will see it. You'll be like, wow, I can pretty much do anything. we actually just today, because right now we're still under we're still under COVID conditions, so a lot of government agencies are still closed and everybody's working from home. But we did stop by there anyway just to see if we can get a chat with someone. And like right here, there's a business incubator in every province or state has one. And it's basically a one-stop shop. So let's say you come in, this is what I do. They will literally sit down with you and help you put everything together so you can go ahead and start that business, because the reality is they just want you to come and start businesses, and they feel like we're the prime candidates to start these businesses. Right. We are. We just need the support to do it. And they have all this stuff in line now. Obviously, when they open back up, whoever's available, whoever I can get a hold of to get the information, white or black, Indian, whatever I can do to get the information and put it on our channel, and then link it up and so forth. So if somebody's sitting at home saying, "Hey, I was in the trucking in the U.S. and I want to do trucking here," then we can line you up so you can start doing all your research and start having actual people on the ground who's going to get your business up and running with you and so forth. So as far as the gap, the only gap is that, and from my perspective, and their perspective, is that we're not here filling those gaps.
Like I said, I'm definitely next year. I'll plan on coming to South Africa. So I'm doing a trip to Tanzania, and then from Tanzania, I'll come on down to Johannesburg.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming here, bro. There's a lot of people. You, bro. At this point, this is what we do. And like I said, we spend a lot of time on the phones. We get a lot of emails. People who follow us on the Real Side of Africa YouTube channel, or they go to our website. A lot of people are looking for opportunities. It's just that simple. And unfortunately, they're not finding them at home on the level which they want. But they can come here and kind of do it. So a lot of people are figuring it out. So that's what I know. So a lot of people are coming here.
Oh, that's good. Now there was an article, maybe you could clear this up, saying that it kind of was doom and gloom, saying that the South African economy or something could crash in 10 years, or it was something along those lines. What would be your response to that?
I would say this, is it perfect here? No. Is it perfect in the US? I mean, I remember all our issues. Hell, right now they got a bunch of issues. So it I guess it's astonishing to me how in the Western world that there's anarchy in the street, and then they point at and then they point at Africa. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm sensitive to it, but I'm out here every day with these guys and watching these buildings being built and cranes flying overhead and new construction being built all over the city, like literally all over the city. And then there's somebody who writes an article and they put it out in America and they say, okay, well, wow, everything is bad in Africa. But I'm riding down these highways, these beautifully paved highways, and like all I see is cranes, and all I see is new construction, and all I see is new this and new that. So I guess it's easy to say and whatnot, but of course, like I said again, it's very difficult to get a picture of South Africa if you never come here. If you don't come, then it's easy just to read articles and say, oh my God, and then feel sorry for me when I'm out on the golf course and and I'm fine, So, and that's what we want other people. Like I said, for us, we just want people to come. Just come here on a trip, see it for yourself, and then if you still feel like those articles are relevant, then those are your choices. That's something that you can do. But I promise you that there hasn't been a person that we've brought through here, and all the African Americans here that are doing very well for themselves, and there's plenty of us here. They don't have the same point of view.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mark, this is a little off topic. You were talking about a steakhouse in South Africa, where the steak. I mean, like which one? Okay, here we go. Can I get a better steak in Joburg than I can at like Roof Chris or
Oh yeah. You'd throw those away. There was the one I used to go to one. No, for real, you would. You actually would. I used to go to one called Shula's. They're on the East Coast, I think. I know there's one in Philly. They used to have one in DC. It shut down. It was like Don Shula. He had a steakhouse, and they were in certain restaurants, certain hotels. And because I used to travel to the U.S. like routinely, when I saw a Shula, I would run up in there and spend my $100 and get my steak. But here, like I said, like I live on a golf estate, very nice golf estate, and right outside in the, I see cattle every day. And if, like for example, we're gonna go to the Limpopo province next week, I think. Yeah, next week, and we're scheduled to go, and I'm gonna see a bunch of cows. I'm gonna see a bunch of farms. I'm gonna see all these things, and I know the grill house, the ones that I like. There's some people who like other chains of restaurants, Hussars and other locations. But I know Grill House particularly, they actually have their own farm where they raise their own cattle. So that's the steaks that you're eating from their farm,
Right.
which is local. And it's just a better experience, unfortunately, and for a whole lot less. I mean, me and my wife can eat. We can go there. I mean, I'm talking about nice. I'm talking about like really high end. I mean, we might spend 600 rand maybe, and that's for the whole shebang.
And how much?
600
Rand? That's not a lot. That's not.
No, it's $35.
Yes, I'm saying that's not a lot. So $35 for so a comparable meal at Roof Chris for you and your wife, you can spend $150.
No, it wouldn't be comparable. And the reason why I say that, when I mean this, I'm talking about we ordered a bottle of wine, we had an appetizer, we might have had a couple of cocktails. Then of course we had our meal, full meal, and then we got our what you call it, our dessert. We got all of that. We might walk out with a bill of 600. I tip 100 rand easy, maybe 150, because my guy, my maitre d' takes care of me. He selected my wine, brought it out, put it at the table, ice, bottle service type stuff. That's that. Now, if what I just said, if I did that at Ruth Chris, I'm
$300.
Yeah, easy, $200-300 easy. Right. And the service, the maitre d' is the person where you don't even get a maitre d', you get a waiter, right. And they don't know nothing about those wines. They don't know what goes with what. They're not going to be able to talk about the daily choice of stuff that they have, unlike here. So that's another thing. It's a foodie's paradise here in South Africa. You can eat all the time out,
right,
and not spend so much. But then again, if you go to a middle of the road place, something really nice, but you're not high end. I mean, you can go out and you can spend 400 rand. You look at your bill. Wow, it's 400 rand. Oh man, we ate everything. Right. In South Africa.
I tell people when I went to Namibia, I had bought a beer. Right, I was at a hotel out there in Namibia. I had bought a beer, and so I did the conversion as far as how much the beer cost. It was only like 75 cents or like 50 cents. I bought everybody in the bar a beer. Bro, they spent only $20. I bought everybody. It said all me. $20.
And they appreciated it too. Yeah, you could definitely ball out. I mean, we've done it a few times where we had friends. I think one time we came here because it was great because every time we used to visit all the time. Like the last day, all of our friends would come. We have like 8 or 10 friends, and so I was like, man, y'all just get what y'all want. We had the grill house actually, and the bill came and it was like no big deal. It was like 2,000 rand. That was like little or nothing for 8 to 10 people to have have shots and slider and had everything. We had everything going that day, and it's very nice. It's very nice. Yeah.
Let's see. Is there a difference for the rand at the airport than changing my dollars outside? Sometimes they'll get you on the rate in the airport versus doing it on the street outside.
Yeah. But here, I mean, again, you gotta, I think some people get confused. They, when you start talking about it's advanced and it's modern, they start saying, well, it's like the U.S. I would say, shoot, the U.S. need to get on board with what they're doing because a lot of the things that they do here is very, very, very nice. So, like we have people that come and we literally tell them, look, don't bring any money, don't bring any cash. And for some odd reason, they always show up with cash, and then they end up wanting to pay with U.S. dollars. And I'm like, this is not America. They're not gonna take your US dollars. So what we tell people to do, just put a little travel notice on your bank. Just tell them, hey, I'm going to be in South Africa. And then you can just go to the ATMs here. If you want to have, money, just go to the ATM like I do and draw out whatever you need to walk around with. So that's just the easiest way to do it. But if you want to go over there because you felt like that's what you're supposed to do, that's fine. But if you come on one of our trips, I'm going to tell you to make sure that you leave a travel notice with the bank or your credit card, so you can just go to the ATM, or if you want to just do the swipe. Because what happens when you do it at the ATM or you swipe at the thing, you get the fairest exchange that you can possibly get.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually in everywhere else in Africa, it's better to get money from the dudes, open up his jacket, and he got the money in the jacket on the street, versus the banks are going to get over on you. If you get money at the airport, they're going to get money, they're going to get over on you. So it's like you just get the money from the guys on the street because they'll give you a better rate. So
yeah.
So guys, again, hit that like button. Again, hit that like button. And if you have any questions, call in, send me an email, huru@searchforhuru.com. And you guys can call in and ask your question. You can ask your questions, you guys. Here we go. All right, Lisa Presley, I'm about to send you the link. I'm about to send you the link. Like when you move to South Africa, like what kind of like just relief, or like how did it feel when you say, you know what, I'm here for good now, and I'm not, this is a one-way flight and I'm not going back. Like what kind of relief did you have?
Actually, it was really good. Coming here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it was great. But I knew I had an index, so I kind of like had to get everything done while I was here, even if I was here doing business or I was here doing pleasure or just traveling around seeing friends I hadn't seen in a month or two or 6 months or so. But coming here on a regular basis. I didn't have any apprehension. I felt really good about just being here and knowing that I didn't have to leave and I could just be comfortable. And so when I go places, people don't say, I speak this accent, and they don't say to me, "So how long are you going to be here for?" Now that I'm everywhere, so they know who I am, and they're like, "Hey brother, how you doing? How you doing?" They don't ask me that question. So once you're here and they see that you are invested into the country, I mean, they pull you even closer.
Right.
And you're here, you're with us. You're here, brother, and it really does help, because whenever I'm looking for stuff or I need stuff, I just holler at one of the brothers or one of the sisters that's local, that's nearby, and be like, "Yo, what's up?" And then they be like, "Hey, I seen you the other day." I'm like, "Yeah, I seen you too," and we cool, and it just works out. But it is a weight and a burden off of your back, and you don't realize it until you get back on that plane, like I did last February. I think it was last February. You get back on that plane and you're leaving Africa, and you're not feeling, you're like, man, I'm can't believe
sick. Like, damn, what am
I doing?
Home.
Yeah, I'm going back with a whole bunch of people that don't look like me, and they got their own set of values, and and it's not African values, and they're doing whatever they're doing in the U.S. And then you land. And like I remember one time, I'll never forget, I got my bags and I was going to get me a cup of coffee, and this white lady just started talking to me, and I just looked at her like, because in here they don't that doesn't happen too often. Matter of fact, white people, they're the black people. Like in the U.S., they're marginalized, and they just want to get in and do what they got to do, and just go away and do what they do, and you don't bother them, and they don't bother you, and they're very few. So, but coming back and landing and having to realize the biggest thing, realize that, oh yeah, I'm a black guy, because here you don't think about being black. You just don't. You just are. So.
All right, guys, make sure you go to dynastamir.com. Again, make sure you go to dynastamir.com. While you're there, buy your books and buy your merchandise, you guys. Again, buy your books, buy your merchandise. I just sent the link out to Miss Lisa. So Miss Lisa, we are waiting for you to call in. Again, if you guys want to call in, email is uhuru@searchforhuru.com, and I will send you the link, and you can come on and ask your question. Yeah, because I remember when I was working in corporate America and I only had 2 weeks. Then I finally got it bumped up to 3 weeks as far as vacation. And I
Yeah.
remember getting on that plane and flying back, just like, what am I
Yeah.
going back to?
Yeah.
Yeah, what am
We
I
just,
going back to?
we just had a brother. He cracks me up. A friend of mine. He was here. He normally comes for 2 weeks. He he does all the stuff, and then I meet with him. We might play around the golf and whatnot. He's so funny, and he works for the NIH. And he got here. Then he came here and then he got locked in. So he got a girlfriend here and whatnot. So he ended up staying here 6 months, and he had no intentions. And the first 2 months, 3 months, he was, man, when I get back to DC, and after about 3 months, he was South African, and
Mm,
so when he finally had to leave because he was here the max amount of time he could be, he's depressed. He's literally sitting in DC saying, "Man, I can't believe that I'm not in South Africa." So now he's looking at trying to take care of himself, in reference to being able to stay here on a full-time basis because he has like 2 years before he can retire. So he's trying to find himself. But yeah, he's totally bummed out because he's in the US.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, like, once you can figure out how to earn income, like, it's like,
Yeah.
why go back?
Yeah. 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 So, but and like I said, there's tons of ways to, to earn income. If you just got to kind of assert yourself. Like I said, there's a brother here right now. He's what's his name? His name is Cleveland,
Mhm,
and a bit older than me. And he does barbecue. He does southern food.
mhm,
And he works with this other guy, the guy who owns he has a proper hotel, the guy, and then he has a space out back, very nice space, where you can host parties and stuff, and he will cook anything that you want,
mhm.
and and every week he has specials, but he's a black guy. And he had a restaurant back in Virginia, in North Carolina, as well, in High Point, North Carolina. He had a restaurant, came here, did the exact same thing. It worked.
All right. Lisa, go ahead.
Hi, Dynast. I think you're doing a great job, but I'm always the one speaking about us being indigenous Black Aboriginal Americans.
Oh God, Mark, how
But
do you
no,
feel
no, no,
about?
no.
Hold on, Mark. How do you feel,
But
Mark? How
there's
do you feel about the?
one other thing, Dynast. I'm gonna clear it up. But they're also from Africa. Okay, so there. Let's proceed. They're also from Africa. The original indigenous people here before Christopher Columbus got here. But anyway, I am calling
Oh, well,
because I
hold
speak.
on, Lisa, hold on. Mark, are you an Olmec?
um,
Olmecs are
I,
African.
Are you an Olmec, Mark? Are you an Olmec?
how do you mean?
The
I
Olmec
know,
Indian.
I heard what you said, and I don't know your term, but
Oh,
it's saying as
are
far as
you? Do you think you're an Olmec Indian?
no.
No, Olmecs were African. They were Africans who lived in the area of Mexico, and these are factual things.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
I believe
but
all
but
that. Yeah.
but I mean, I know that Dynast knows better, but that's okay. I understand his position, but we're talking about South Africa.
Okay, go
So
ahead,
I have a
go ahead.
serious question here. I want you guys to consider. There's something that goes on in the United States of America with Black immigrants that come in from Africa, and there may be they're part of the whole brain drain process whereby you have a lot of intellectual Black immigrants that come in from various African countries from Africa, and they come to the United States. And from my understanding, as I speak to many of my peers, I really feel like it's um, a strategic tool that the United States uses against Black Americans, um, to prevent us from being successful and progressive and block us from various opportunities. And this is why they use Black immigrants against us. And I feel that South Africa is utilizing the same method for divisiveness. Why should we support them when we know that us coming in and using our US dollar and the currency not being a fair It's not a fair exchange. It's not helpful to Black South Africans that we support South Africa in this. This is nothing but a chess move. Of course, they're going to welcome us, but they're welcoming us and using us as pawns against the indigenous Black South Africans. Why would we want to participate in that? You don't see that, Dynast? You don't see
No.
that. You don't see that the whites here in the U.S. treat the African immigrants better than they treat the Black Americans.
Let me try to answer that, if you don't mind.
No.
I
Well, go
maybe
ahead.
I'm not articulating it in the
No,
best
I
way.
hear. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
Go
can I
ahead,
answer
Mark.
that? It's a softball. It's so funny. First of all, when you start talking about Black Americans coming to South Africa in particular, and helping, and it's a trap and things like that. The first thing that you need to kind of think about is that, like I said, these guys are kind of looking to us in some ways for some levels of leadership, and we can easily provide that. But if we're trying to filter it through, well, the white man, the white man, the white man, the white man, then they would never get it, and it would be the message will never get to where it needs to get. Number two, when it comes to us spending our money here, I can honestly tell you that I know of tons of people, to include myself, many years ago, that would go to Mexico and spend all our money, and it doesn't help one Black person at all. Zero. It helps all the Mexicans. Or even when you go to the Caribbean, most of those nations down there are colonies of Europe, and a lot of those ties are still there. So a lot of that money goes to Europe. That helps the white man. But I will tell you here, when you come here, especially in South Africa, I can't tell you about every nation. I can tell you about here. When every time a tourist comes into this country who's spending US, especially spending US dollars, you're actually, even if you're just leaving a tip at a table, or you're using this service or that service and so forth, you are truly impacting the economy down here in South Africa. That is without a doubt, and that's going to help those kids down in the townships. That's going to help those. I mean, it helps everyone. That's why tourism is such a big economic driver here, to the point to where if African Americans don't come, let's say African Americans just say, you know what, from this point on, we're not coming down there. The British pound is way more powerful than the U.S. dollar, way more powerful. Hell, even the euro, and they're going to come here anyway. They're coming regardless, and they're coming to a place where there's a possibility that something might happen to them because they're white, but they're coming to spend that money, and they know what they're doing. They're coming to keep this economy going because they want to come to a nice place. They want to be able to do these types of things. So at the end of the day, numbers wise, just straight numbers, it'd be great to have the African Americans coming here and participating and being able to finding opportunities and do all these things. That'd be great. But at the end of the day, they're not going to hold their breath and say, well, we can't move forward without them, because there are other people who are coming to fill the voids in that regards. So a lot of times, especially here in Africa, it's not about the white man. It's really not. But we keep making it seem like it's about the white man. Look, there's a white person, but then you go outside your home in the U.S. and there are white people everywhere. I mean, like literally everywhere. So that's kind of my take on what you said, Lisa.
Okay. Recently in South Africa, there's been situations regarding xenophobia, and Nigerians primarily coming there to set up businesses. If South Africans if they were in agreement with U.S. Black Americans coming there to set up businesses, to benefit from the economical situation there, and the fact that we have resources. If they were happy about that, then why would they have these events where they're having criminal actions taking place against people that are coming outside of their country? Black Black people coming into their country, setting up businesses from which they themselves can't even benefit in high percentages. Why would they have those events? Why would those things be occurring if they were welcoming of this? I'm just saying, I
Well,
just feel like Black
well,
Americans
I'm gonna
need
answer
to
your question.
support, they need to support countries whereby it is actually helpful and not harmful. We don't want to be played out by uh, these countries where Europeans have a stronghold on them. We don't want to be a part of that. We should go to countries and support countries that are clearly coming out of that process, such as Ghana. Ghana's
Hmm.
not Ghana's not being oppressed in the way that South Africa is. Male South Africans do not want other Black immigrants stopping them, because see what happens is when we come there, we become a buffer, and the whites do not have to deal with the Black Africans there. We need to not meddle in that, because we need to make sure they can deal directly with the South Africans. They have to make amends. They have to make repair. We can't, as long as other immigrants come there with their resources, that they are pawns, they are buffers, and they are in the way of uh, South Africans dealing with these what are these Dutch? These people who have a stronghold on their economy. It prevents their progression when they're trying to bring resolve to their issues that are going on in South Africa. We don't need to support them. We need to be
Well,
somewhere where I think Dynast has the right idea of going to West Africa, the Nigerias. That's a strong, powerful Black nation. And we're
mhm.
not doing anything bad by going in there and seeking opportunity there. But South Africa is not the right place for us to be investing our time and resources. Definitely not. All right. Thank you, Dynast, for taking my call.
No problem. You want to respond to that?
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah. No, I mean she's 100% right when it comes to investing in Africa. I don't care where you invest in Africa, West Africa, North Africa. Anytime you see Black people, regardless of what it is, even right there in America, if you see Black people, you need to be trying to figure out a way to invest. Try to patronize and all that and uplift. I was that person as well when we owned our businesses. We did our things when I was in the U.S. We had our own Black Chamber of Commerce, and I was one of the founding members of it. So I really do understand that intrinsically. I'm not just reading and talking about it. I actually have done these types of things, and we did very well. That whole Black healthcare arena that we had there in Stafford, Virginia, had a lot to do with me, Dr. Joni Johnson, and a few others. We actually put that together. So I totally get that. When it comes to patronizing Nigeria, Ghana, and everywhere else, if we ain't doing that, then we're wrong. I think a lot of ways that we don't realize as African Americans. I mean, we do have a lot of spending power, but like I said, it goes beyond that. It goes to cultural as well, and that's the whole part that I think that she needed to that she can probably look at, as far as the cultures are totally different, and so forth. So I get the whole monolithic being Black, but sometimes the cultures flat out don't mix. Some of the cultures here in South Africa, with the 11 types of cultures they have here, which in Nigeria is way more, but in South Africa, it just don't mix as well as they need to, simply because of, as we do at home. Hey, this was the way I was raised, and they have that here. Number three, when it comes down to the xenophobia and things like that, I can tell you this: if if a Black person was coming to my old neighborhood, or any neighborhoods that I ever lived in, and started selling crack and doing all kind of things, crime, when I'm saying that other people are, but I'm saying hypothetically, then I might have a problem with that. If it was Black, white, green, whatever, it just is what it is.
But
And
Mark, is that always necessarily the case though when it comes to xenophobia? Because I keep
no,
hearing
no, no,
these.
no. I'm just saying. I'm
Okay.
just saying from my experience, they don't really know. It's so horrible with the media, and I will say that is because, like, for example, I think her name was Lisa. If she
Yeah.
came here tomorrow, she can come here and say exactly what she said, and she doesn't realize, because they watch the media. They feel like they know her. So whatever she's saying, if she's saying xenophobia, tax needs to stop, this needs to stop, this, we need to do this. They listen. She actually has a voice. Listen to her. They'd be like, oh, you're right. They would listen to her simply because they feel like they know her and she's American. So I think that would be, I would absolutely, I would absolutely love any sister or brother who has, strong feelings about Black relations to come anywhere in Africa, but especially here as well. And like right now, we got a boatload of not just African Americans, because they're not the only ones in the game. There's a lot of Africans or Black people from Great Britain reaching out to us as well, and from the UK. There's plenty of people reaching out from the UK.
Let me interject. I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I think there is a level of consciousness in the UK that's higher than in Black people in America. I'm starting to pick that up. Like Black people in the UK are way more, I think, somewhat conscious than Black people.
Conversations are different. Like when I'm on the phone talking to somebody from the UK, completely different conversation than us when I'm talking to people from Cali or anywhere in the US. From some of the craziest places, South Dakota. I'm like, what are you doing there? But they there. And they call us, and what they're saying is what they're saying. But when I'm talking to somebody from the UK, totally different response. But I can tell you, we went to this conference where this girl from the UK came. When she was talking to her about her experience as a Black person in the UK, me and my wife, we were literally clapping our hands, simply because they had the exact same experience that we had. They just, they're just different with it. That's all.
Okay, guys, we'll take one more caller. Again, we'll take one more caller. Email is uhuru@searchforuhuru.com, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. Now, why should, I think I already asked, I asked this question on a previous show, but I'll ask again. Why should Black Americans consider South Africa? And really, why should Black Americans start the exodus out of America to Africa in general, but then South Africa specifically?
Well, from my perspective, I've watched enough generations as a kid, and then as I got to be a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, and we all, I'm 40 now, I'm 50, that tried to make it, and then here we are, we're at the funeral, and they never really got where they wanted to go. And I think part of it, and literally part of it is the fact that, when we watch other people from other races, regardless if they're from the Far East or wherever, they always got this component of them going home. There's always this component of knowing who they are, going home, getting with the culture and things along that line. Even here in South Africa, you got people who live in Joburg, like Joburg hard. They all about GP. That's what they do. But when it's time to go home, they go home. You would say, you are African, shouldn't matter. No, they go down to the villages where they grew up. My point I'm trying to make to you is I think African Americans need to actually come to Africa, however they get here. And when I say Africa, I didn't say just South Africa, Africa in general, and bathe yourself in what Africa really is, so you can, deal with that in America, for one, and number two, have a place that build a relationship of your very own, something that you can't get in America. I don't care how many Africans come to America, you're never going to be able to get Africa. Standing in North Carolina where I grew up, you're just not going to get it. So, and some of your birthrights, at least some of my birthrights, are here, right here in Africa, and that's why I get to do what I do, simply because some of my birthrights here and some of my birthrights in America. So if I put them all together, I'm kind of whole at this point, and I could take advantage of opportunities here. And if an opportunity came over in the U.S., I could take advantage of that as well. So that's just the way I see it. There are those that don't feel that way, and I get it. When you say, We built America. Yeah, I remember.
Here we go. Yeah, we built America.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
bones were
No,
buried in America. We
no,
bled. Yeah.
listen, but I'm the same guy at 20 years old, standing out there in that desert, shooting guns and doing all that war stuff. I'm the same guy who was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I'm the same guy that did all that. I'm the same guy, and that doesn't go away because I'm sitting here in Africa. It doesn't go away. You need some peace at some point. You can't be constantly, in a constant state of fighting. So we did build America, and it's yours. And also, our ancestors before our ancestors that we identify in America, they built Africa as well. So I'm honestly just taking advantage of what my ancestors left behind for me, those that were enslaved and those that wasn't. That's just the way I see it.
Let's see. Okay, so you addressed the whole "my bones are buried in America." We built America. You covered that. What about I'm not going to Africa because the Chinese are there, the Lebanese are there, the white folks are there. Like, what about that stalling tactic?
Africa is so big.
Right.
Why would you? I mean, I think people have a romantic idea of Africa, and then when they see a white person, they're like, there are white people there. There's a lot of Europeans that look at America and say, there's black people there? Like, what are they doing there? They're only in Atlanta, and they're showing me Iowa. Why are there black people there? So I mean, you got to kind of look at a big picture and whatnot. That Africa is huge. It's 3 times larger than the United States of America. 3 times. If you was in Northern Africa and to fly to Southern Africa to Cape Town, it's gonna take you 12 hours in a plane, and you will be overland the entire time.
Right.
That's how big Africa is. So you're gonna find all races, just like you'll find all races of black people everywhere on every continent. You're gonna find white people here as well. You're gonna find Asians, and a lot of them come here. They all come here and risk it because for them it's a risk. For you it's value added, but for them it's a risk, and they come for one reason and one reason only, because it's extremely nice.
Right.
And they just don't want you to know. So they're going to continue to throw up all kind of barriers. Right. What about black and black town? What about this? What about that? And then you stay in America on your job working, 40, 60 hours a week. You just stay, and you just won't even try to, relieve yourself. You won't even try. You just stay. And then you wait to some fictitious day when you retire, which is the same day, like, some people that you got diagnosed with a chronic disease. I mean, and then all of a sudden
it's a wrap.
You never spent one night looking up at that star, and say, wow, I'm in Africa. Right. You never spent one day in Africa, and you are as melanated as they come. We just had this brother. He's a pastor he's from South Carolina. We had a long extended conversation with him yesterday, and he's 62 years old, retired. Retired New York City police, living in, he's a pastor, the whole nine. And he had that discussion with us. He was like, I don't want to go out without spending any time in Africa. I don't. And so I think he booked his trip today, just to come, and if he would have booked it to go to Kenya, I would have been happy. If he would have booked it to go to Congo, I would have been happy, because you got to come to Africa. And like I said, we're the real South Africa. We specialize down here, for those who want to come. But if somebody says, I don't want to come to South Africa because of this, and I want to go to Ethiopia, I'd be like, you know what? Get to Ethiopia as fast as you can. Don't put it off.
Yeah, because I get the when I retire, I'm gonna go to Africa when I retire. My bucket list.
Yeah. By that time, you can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy the manner in which you need to enjoy it. So if you can come earlier, the sooner the better. You can absolutely enjoy it. But if you are, on your meds, or hey, I got dietary restrictions, hey, I can't do that because of this. I can't do that because of that, which is fine. We will do what we got to do, but it's more of an optimum opportunity. Like me, I feel fortunate. I mean, I'm 51 now. I'm still. I mean, I'm not broken just yet. And like I think my wife, she's going because Heritage Day here is Thursday, so she's going to go on a hike with a bunch of South Africans, which is going to be cool. And then next week I'm going on glamping, which is glamorous camping. I'm going, and I can go because I know there's going to be a lot of hiking, a lot of going to see some sights, things along that line. And I'm not over the hill yet, and I can go enjoy myself, and then have good memories and so forth. And I might even make a video and post it on our channel. Dynast, you still there? I'm gonna respond to one of these emails about light-skinned people here in Africa. I can honestly tell you that I see more albino people, or as we say here, albino people. Here, you can pretty much see albino people every day. You generally don't see albino people in America, but you see a lot of them here in South Africa. So I don't know why that's the case, but it just is, and so forth. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. My connection
Okay.
my connection just went down. But we're back now. We are back.
Yeah.
So guys, what we'll do, we'll go ahead. Yeah, I froze. Guys, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and start closing out. Brother Bland, just tell how can everybody reach you? Where can they subscribe to the page, the YouTube page, and shout out all your everything you got going on.
Okay, cool. Like I said, we're the Real South Africa. I'm Mark, and of course, my wife is she's involved, and we got a lot of travel partners. We got a complete network of people that we deal with. Like today, I was on the phone with the trade representative in reference to investing into South Africa. He's actually in Washington D.C. So what we're trying to do. We want to build not just do trips, but we actually want to build a proper bridge. So whatever you're trying to do, that we can resource that and have it already ready to go for you. So which is a good thing. And of course, you can always as we get things, then we put them out on our social media platforms. And of course, we got a pretty robust Facebook page is Facebook. Obviously / the Real South Africa. You can also find us on YouTube. As you see, it says the Real South Africa. Go there and search that. You will see us. We'll pop up. We got a lot of information there. Just different things that we do around the city. It's constantly growing and whatnot. I think we got about 8,500 subscribers and so forth. We kind of really started it roughly about a month and a half or two ago. So it's kind of building. But like I said, you can obviously send us an email at info@therealsouthafrica.com. And then, of course, we got a fat website that people tend to like. It's called therealsouthafrica.com. Very, very simple. Reach out to us, and then you will be able to, voice your questions. We like to schedule calls with people because, we're 6 hours ahead of you. Pretty soon we're going to be 7 hours because y'all like to fall back.
Right.
In the U.S.
What's crazy? We're the only. I just found out we're like the only country that does this.
Yeah, because they went to work, get that shower out of you. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. I'm like we're the only country that does this
in the world. Yeah,
in the world. Yeah. I take that back. Arizona doesn't do it. I think.
Really?
Arizona doesn't have daylight saving times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think Arizona does it, but it's still like I was. I was programmed to think this was just normal all over the world, and people were just like, no.
Exactly. Yeah. So you guys are gonna fall 7 hours back. So if you end up like I said, you say, you know what, man, I really want to go. I really want to go. Look, just do yourself a favor. Stop hanging around the little drain and just go ahead and give us a call. And like I said, you can schedule a call. You send us an email. We're seeing the link. Schedule a call, and then oh yeah, we actually for those who are looking at becoming expats here in South Africa, we actually have written a book that details everything. We don't been through the process, and it's vetted. People tend to like the book. They can start working on themselves, moving from America, coming to South Africa. But then again, if you look at the book, I'm gonna tell you straight up: come to South Africa as a tourist first, see what's going on, and whatnot. But you can go ahead and purchase the book from us as well. Just shoot an email, say, hey, I want that book. It's $15, but it's a great book. It's an ebook, so you can take it with you, and we'll shoot it to you. And just info at therealsouthafrica.com, and then we will we'll send you the book, and then you can start working things out. And keep in mind, becoming an expat, it takes some effort, but at the end of the day, it's well worth it. And you don't and you can still go back to the U.S. And see your mama if you want to. So it's
Right.
all.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
thing. I think a lot of people don't want to put in the work to
Mm.
do certain things. They just want to show up and say, I've arrived. Give me everything. And it's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't work like that. Does not
Unfortunately.
work like that. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And once again, tour Sierra Leone, April 21st to the 30th. Email me. Again, email me if you're interested in that. I'm going to officially announce that once we disconnect from here. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. Until next time, family, Dynast Amir, search for Huru. Peace.
With us today. What I really want to do is let you know we have several trips that are coming to South Africa. Please email us at info@therealsouthafrica.com. We got plenty of packages ready to go just for you. So, like I said, we're the only ones here in South Africa that are actually putting trips together specifically for our people. So, hey, the best thing you could do for right now is to come to South Africa on one of these great and wonderful packages, and I promise you, you will have the best time. Some of the best locations, some of the best events, everything. It's the real South Africa. How can you not want to be here? So go ahead and book your trip with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things the real South Africa. Thanks again.